the National Library in Stamford Road. For 44 years we came here to study, to research, or simply for the joy of a good book. It was little wonder when the National Library Board made a call for stories, Singaporeans came forward with their memories and recollections. This was, after all, their library.
Many people have fond memories of the National Library, which will be relocating to Victoria Street. We felt that by producing this book, we can preserve the memories of the National Library, which has existed for more than 40 years.
Now all those voices have been captured in a commemorative book, Moments in Time, Memories of the National Library. The editorial team spent several months sifting through the stories, some nostalgic and heartwarming, others light and humorous. All spoke of the place that the National Library had in their hearts.
I've gained a lot of patience. I've honed my patience into a virtue, because it's quite trying to go through submissions which tell so many stories in almost the same way, and how can I not throw some away? It's quite painful for me to have to throw some away. That's the thing I learned, not to allow my heart to rule my head, because finally I got to do a job.
The task was not merely to edit a book, but to weave together memories and voices of many who loved the National Library.
Long before the Centrepoint kids, there were the library kids. I was one of them. The Children and Young People section was my second home. I was such a regular there that I got to know the librarians. I even got to help out behind the counter. Once in a while, I was richly rewarded when the head librarian took me up a secret lift to the large treasure store of new books. There, heady on the scent of new prints, I was allowed to choose one or two books and be the first to read them.
More than red bricks and stacks of books, the National Library was a place where Singaporeans worked, played, and even fell in love. It welcomed one and all into its embrace.
I joined the library in 1961 and retired in 2001. It was in the old building that I spent a good part of my working life, and it was here that close friendships were formed. Like libraries all over the world, this library had its share of weirdos, some of whom were peeping toms on the lookout for young female librarians. There were also exciting times: a bomb scare, the flooding of the basement, rumors of the building being haunted. Buildings come and go, but what remain are the memories and the people who made this happen.
Senior staff meetings were the most memorable. In the midst of heated debates, it was always a welcome relief when Philip, our ever-loyal tea man, arrived with the brew. I've always wondered about the tea Philip served. The colour of the tea was a bright orange, much like those little puddles one sees at construction sites after the rain. Every time I took sips from Philip's cup of tea, a thick web of pleasant sensations spread across my throat. Perhaps it can be relaunched and marketed as NL Sling.
The courtyard, it's a good idea to put a nice sandy tone dot in between here.
Shaping the raw material of memories into a book required hard work, inspiration, and many different talents. Great stories and good pictures were critical, but these elements came together to serve a larger vision, that of making the book an evocative experience.
You want them to have a resonance with the book, especially if they've been through the library at Stanford, the old building. And that is captured by, I think, the red that we put through the book, the front cover. Immediately you see the brick wall. And when you flip the book over and you look at all the pages compressed, You see red too. It looks like you're picking up a brick, a building brick of memories.
The most impressive part was the fact that so many Singaporeans, or some foreigners too I think, were ready to come forward with their memories. The greatest part of it is that the library is giving its customers, its users, people, most of them, the chances are these are people who will never ever write a book themselves, or perhaps not even articles, but this book gives them a chance to be part of a book.
We have seen how the library means different things to different people. In the same way, this book has brought together the many different talents to pay tribute to the National Library, and we are very grateful for that.
The book, Moments in Time, Memories of the National Library, bids a fond farewell and pays tribute to our Grand Dane. We can now look forward to a new National Library and the opportunity to make more fond memories in a different, yet familiar place.
What's so important is that the spirit of learning and discovery that's so strongly associated with the old National Library will live on in its new location in Victoria Street. Over time, as more and more users make use of the facilities, collections and services, I'm quite sure the new National Library will find a place in the hearts and minds of Singaporeans, and it will become a cultural institution in its own right.